Namaste, yogis. I'm Chelsea Rothert, and today we're going to be doing a practice that I call just what you need, I guess. It's not really a flow, just a little bit more of a restorative, gentle movement all around, just feel good for your body practice. So let's start in a meditation. We're going to begin just seated, closing the eyes. Take the time to just feel heavy through the sit bones and long through the spine. Your shoulders are relaxed, the face is soft. And there's a few moments for you to just listen to the sounds around you, maybe some movement in the home, sounds outside your home, or wherever you may be. But the more important listening comes from what we hear inside our own minds. The words, the thoughts, the worries that may be cycling around in your mind. And we recognize the breath as this tool, this beautiful tool, to begin eliminating any static energy. We find this calm, steady baseline, a natural flow of breath in and out of the nose. We're going to begin with a few rounds of what's known as Anuloma Viloma, or alternate nostril breathing. A great way to balance out the right and left hemispheres of the brain. It balances out the highs and the lows, essentially. So all you need is your peace fingers of your right hand you'll place to the third eye space between the eyebrows. In a moment, the thumb will be responsible for plugging the right nostril, and the ring finger will take care of plugging the left. But for now, both of them are open. We'll take a breath in through the nose, and then plug your right and exhale through the left for 2, 3, 4. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4. Hold both shut, 2, 3, 4. Right exhale, 2, 3, 4. Right inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold both shut, 2, 3, 4. Left exhale, 2, 3, 4. Left inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold both shut, 2, 3, 4. Right exhale, 2, 3, 4. Right inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold both shut, 2, 3, 4. And left exhale, 2, 3, 4. Let the hand move away from your nose. And take a moment just to breathe a steady stream in and out through both sides equally. Just notice the effects. Perfect. Ease the eyes back open. You'll place the right hand down beside you, and the left arm will take a nice long arc up and over. Letting the eyes gaze underneath that top left arm. And then coming back through the center and just allowing the right hand to come to the left knee, the other hand behind you. Sit up tall as you inhale, and as you exhale, just gently gazing back behind. Just feeling the low back ease open. Let's come back to the center and switch the crossing of the ankles, pull the other heel in front. You'll place your left hand down now as the right arm arcs up and over. Let The eyes wander underneath the right arm. Drop that bottom shoulder down away from the ear. Just feeling a weight in the sit bones and length out through the fingertips. One more full breath. And then coming back through the center and letting the left hand come to the right knee. Inhaling tall through the spine first, and then exhaling, firming the belly as you gaze back behind. And just feel the subtle rinsing and toning of the abdomen and the back, the inner organs. Returning back through the center, we'll transition to hands and knees next. So spread the fingers out nice and wide, knees underneath the hips. Take an in-breath. As you draw your chest forward, the sit bones lift slightly. And exhale, round your back. Push the earth away from you as you really feel this youthfulness in the spine. Inhaling as the chest and the chin draw forward. Exhaling as you round the back, moving into cat pose, taking the gaze to the belly. Let's go 2 more like this. Inhaling as the chest draws forward. Exhale as you round and dome the back. 1 more. Starting to feel the body come alive. And then back through the center. We'll take half dog next, one of my favorites, walking the hands out in front of you. And then allowing your chest to melt down so that the forehead comes to the earth. But you're not into child's pose. You instead have your knees and your hips stacked. Maybe even tenting the hands, I call it, where your finger pads are down, but the palms themselves are lifted. And you have this buoyancy in your palms, your wrists, your forearms, your underarms. The sit bones pulling up. If you're tender in the low back, I would just firm the belly a little bit. Just feeling this de-stressing of that upper back, the place we all store tension. 1 more breath. And then let the palms come to flat as you walk the hands back in. They'll come right underneath the shoulder, and we'll begin first by sending your left leg out to the side. So the left leg comes out to the side, sole of the foot flat, and then you'll take your right arm and thread it underneath the side body. Your cheek and temple rest on the floor, and your left arm moves straight forward like you're in a down dog with the left arm. Right palm is facing up, and you're just taking that same subtle spiral of your eyes underneath the left side. Beautiful opening for the inner hip, the back, the IT band. Just notice if your forehead is creeping forward. It can cause strain in the upper back and neck, and that's not what we're looking for here. So draw the head back almost like it's leaning against an imaginary wall. And then let's take that left hand by the face, push into the earth strongly as you come back up. The right palm will stay down, and we'll just open the left arm into a nice long twist. Notice that that right shoulder tries to creep in, so pull it back a little bit so you feel broad and strong through the back. And then place the hand down to the ground, bring the knee down to the earth, and we'll simply switch. So the right foot comes out to the side now, sole of the foot flat, and the left arm threads underneath. The right arm reaches forward like it's in down dog, and there's that subtle spiraling of your gaze underneath that right arm. I can notice it already in my own body that I feel as though I need to send the skull back a little bit to feel more grace in the neck. Seal down through the right pinky toe side of your foot and deepen the breath in a way that feels as though it's really discovering some places in your lungs and the diaphragm and all the intercostal muscles that line your ribs. And just fall into the simplicity of breath. Right hand by the face, push to the earth, left hand down, and the right arm rises for that twist. Keep pulling the left shoulder back and the right shoulder open, and the gaze really falls wherever you are the most content. Hand comes down, knee comes down, and from here we're going to tuck the toes, spread the fingers wide, and come to downward facing dog. Do whatever you need to do here in downward facing dog to get comfortable. I always love little sways of my hips from side to side, spreading the fingers out, pressing the heart back, and yet firming the belly. Let's take the right leg and reach it up into the air and just simply stack the hip. So bending your right knee, letting the right knee shine, finding strength and buoyancy in the left shoulder. And then just step that same right foot back down into down dog. And the left leg will rise. We'll stack the hip, we'll bend the knee. The right shoulder finds a bit more buoyancy. And release that foot down. And then from here, let's take our hands and walk them to the back of the mat. And when you get there, have you just fold forward, grabbing opposite elbows, tuck the chin to the chest, get long, and start to tip the weight more into the ball of the foot. Little bend in the knees is always a good idea, just a micro bend, nothing too deep or aggressive unless the body feels like it needs a deeper bend. This series of movements really are just my favorite stretches. Not quite a restorative practice, not a flow by any means. It's just all the good stuff. Great for first thing in the morning or after a long day. Let's release the fingers down and heel toe the feet out a little bit. The toes will turn out, the heels will pull in, and we'll draw down into what's known as a yogi squat or a malasana squat. The hands come to the center of the heart, and your elbows are really pushing the knees open like a doorway. The hands draw down right in front of the heart. So there's even a feeling of stretch in your wrists. And it's up to you whether you have more of a Buddha belly, it's just happy and sort of hanging out, or a firming of the navel. And I would choose a firming of the navel if you have any low back sensitivity while you're here. Try to keep those shoulders gracefully away from the ears. We'll enjoy another breath or two. Perfect. Hands come down, bottoms up, toes forward, and we'll fold in. Let's crawl back out into downward facing dog. When you arrive, take a full breath in the nose, open the mouth, let a big sigh out. Lower the knees to the earth, sit back onto the heels for a moment. Simple Virasana, let's swirl the neck around just 1 or 2 times each direction. Good. And then coming back to center, I'll have you come to your hands and your knees, and we'll just take the right foot forward to the outer edge of the hand. And then I'm going to slide my left knee back a little bit more so that you're in a lunge position or a lizard position. Personally, I prefer to be on the high side. You always can lower down to the forearms. If you have a block or a pillow or a blanket at home, you could place that underneath to sort of draw you into a halfway. But as I said, I'm more comfortable with my arms straight, so I'm going to stay right here. And just let your pubic bone get heavy as the heart pulls forward, regardless of straight arms or bent elbows. Just an extra breath, creating space in the hips. And then we're going to see about bending the left knee. The left palm stays down, and the right hand comes back to see about finding the foot. The quadriceps, the thigh muscles, are always sort of like untapped muscles. Try to pull that heel in towards your bottom as you draw the left shoulder back and take your gaze slightly over the right shoulder. So often, if the quads, the thigh muscles were longer, our low backs would feel a lot happier. And then let's go ahead and release, and then heel toe that right foot more central to the middle of the mat and begin to straighten the leg as you point the toes up. Take an inhale first just to lengthen the chest, and then an exhale as you fold your body in. Perfect. And then from here, we're gonna bend the knee and walk the fingers forward. Lift the back knee. You can take a little standing splits for a moment, just lengthening the left leg up. But then I'm gonna have you cross at the ankles, stepping your left foot behind the right and getting those pinky toes as close together as you can. Once again, you'll lengthen the chest forward, then you're gonna fold, and then take your fingers and walk them a little bit over to the right. Whew, this is a big, big stretch. It's very normal for your body to be saying, wowza. Deepen the breath, one more. And then release, the hands come back. We uncross. Inhale, your hands come to your shins as you look forward. Exhale, plant the palms. Let's step into plank pose. Draw the chest forward. Just take about 3 breaths, really firming the belly, drawing the heart forward, broadening the base, and just brewing some strength in the back and belly. And then we'll lower the knees down, lift the toes up, draw the chest forward, and we'll take just 1 push-up. Bend the elbows, straighten the arms, tuck the toes, lift the knees into plank, and head back through downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and out the mouth. Lower your knees to the earth, flatten the feet, and let's step that left foot forward, right to the outer edge. So we're gonna slide the right knee back. As I mentioned, you can stay high with me, or you can lower your forearms down to the earth for a deeper variation of lizard. It doesn't matter what you choose, and in fact, you should always let your body, not your mind, necessarily decide. We'll draw the heart space forward, feeling that there's a little bit of a weighted sensation through your pubic bone. Draw the shoulders back, and like a turtle coming out of its shell, get long in your neck. Listen to the breath. Feed your body with greatness. And then from here, coming to straight arms if you're not already, bending the right knee. Right palm stays down, the left arm comes behind to find the foot in hand. If you had a strap or a towel, you could use that to assist. And we pull the shoulders back to get really broad in the chest and heart as we gaze over that top left shoulder. Oh, the quads are always tight muscles. Let your breath tell the story. Just slow, deep breaths, calming and lengthening the muscles. And gently we'll release. Heel toe that left foot more central to the mat. Straighten the legs as you walk the fingers back, the toes lift. Inhale, the chest lengthens. And then exhale, pour in. Really feeling like the left hip crease is pulling back and the crown of the head is nearing the toes. That's more important than you drawing your chest down to the thigh. We want length, not necessarily depth. And then let's rebend the knee. Walk the fingers forward a couple of inches, lunge off the back leg, and easy standing splits. And then you're going to cross at the ankles again, sending that foot behind and drawing your pinkies as close together as you can. Take an inhale as you lengthen, exhale as you fold, and then walk your fingers over to the left side. Whew. Chin to chest, deepening the breath. A real humble moment I find in this pose. All right, my friends, back to center, uncross. Take an inhale again and lengthen. Exhale, plant your palms. Let's step back into plank once again. The chest is broad, the belly is firm, the legs and back are long. Take another breath in and exhale. Let's lower the knees. Lift the toes, pull the chest forward, bend the elbows, chaturanga, straight arms, tuck the toes, lift the knees, return to plank, and head back to downward facing dog. Take a nice big breath in and out the mouth to release. Let's lower our knees to the earth. Widen your knees almost to the whole width of your mat and lay your chest into child's pose, forehead heavy. And then from here, drag the hands back in. We'll zip the knees together and swing the legs straight out in front. Let's take an inhale, point the toes to the sky, let your arms reach up, grow nice and long, and exhale, just fold. If you can grab your toes, great. If you can't, great. It doesn't matter. I want it to be realistic. I can force myself to go somewhere, but today I really just want to honor the reality of my body, the sensations in my body, and the wisdom and the feedback of my mind. It's so important, such a real lesson from our practice is to listen to the wisdom and the feedback. So fold in as deep into this forward fold as feels right and appropriate. Let's roll ourselves back up. You're going to bend the knees and recline to the back. When you get down there, we'll take a bridge pose, strengthening the back and the legs. So your knees are bent, your feet are heavy, your hands are down. And then let's lift our hip points up into bridge. Seal the belly, so flatten as much as you can. And we're going to wiggle the right shoulder under and the left shoulder under and interlace the hands beneath the back. Draw your knuckles nice and long towards the heels and find a heaviness through all four corners of the feet. You want to feel as though the soles of the feet are the real driving force of the pose. They push down, and that calls upon the strength in the thighs. The strength in the thighs calls upon this relaxing through the gluteal muscles, your butt muscles, and that asks your belly to firm a little bit more. There's a real call and response that takes place in your body. Last breath. And then release the hands. Slowly roll your spine back down onto the earth. We'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Pick the foot up, thread the right hand through, and you can either grab the front of the shin or back of the hamstring muscle, whatever feels more appropriate for you. You'll flex your right ankle and just take a few breaths into the hip. Lovely stretch. Thread the eye of the needle. Nothing but nice, calm, slow breaths supporting the pose. And then let's go ahead and release, moving to the other side, left ankle over right thigh. Flex the ankle to keep the knee happy. You decide front of the shin or hamstring. Relaxing the shoulders. There's this subtle, very subtle feeling of your right thigh hugging closer towards the chest and the left knee pushing subtly away. Just remember that this is a giving to the body so that it can receive the benefits of the pose. If we push too far out of the comfort zone, we're not really existing in that rest and restore plane. And that's really where we want to be all the time, but especially when we're on the mat. Okay, let's go ahead and release. Happy baby pose, grabbing the outer edges of the feet and just allowing your tailbone to get heavy, the thighs to get heavy. Nice inner groin, hamstring stretch. I like to bring the soles of my feet together, interlace the fingers, and then just sort of feel like you're tipping your toes towards your nose. That's not going to happen, nor do I advise it. You just want to feel the stretch in your low back. Let's release and finish with a twist. Left leg will lay long, right knee hugs in. Take an inhale, and then exhale, guide that knee all the way across the body. It comes down to or towards the ground on the left, and the right arm reaches to the right as you gaze to the right. Universal twist gets all those major muscle groups at once. Just really accepting the pose as is. If your knee doesn't touch the earth, or your hand or shoulder doesn't touch the earth, that's okay. Know that it will or it won't one day. But for right now, just accepting what the body is experiencing and how the breath can help. Let's return to the center. Right leg is long. Neutralize the hips if they feel a little off center. Hug the left knee in. Take an in-breath. And exhale as the knee comes across the body. Left arm comes to the upper left corner. Again, maybe the hand hovers. Maybe it comes to the earth. Maybe the gaze tips over to the left. You just decide. Closing the eyes, falling into breath. Let's come back to the center. Hug the knee in. Hug both knees in. Take a big breath in. Out the mouth, a sigh out. And I'm going to encourage you all to do your Shavasana with the legs up the wall. So if you are near a wall, you would just swing your legs all the way up. So your butt is touching the wall, the legs are up, your arms are out peacefully to the sides. Closing the eyes. Maybe even if you had a pillow or a blanket under the head, that'd just be even more relaxing. Legs up the wall is very therapeutic, calms the central nervous system, relaxes the mind, recirculates the blood and energy and stagnation in the body. So as always, I will encourage those of you at home to stay with your legs up the wall for 5 minutes, 10 minutes even. But for me, that's all. I say goodbye. I say be well. Namaste, peace and blessings, and I'll see you next time.